Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby, the final round of the Rugby Championship inbound this weekend. And it's all to play for, whether it's silverware, whether it's pride. Unfortunately, the first piece of silverware has already been given to the Australian teams, called the wooden spoon. But obviously, like throughout this Rugby Championship, I mean, just a massive takeaway from it. Obviously, I was just bantering the Wallabies there. It's like, and all these teams are closer than we actually thought in the first place. Like, we kind of thought, well, my predictions were South Africa, New Zealand, Wallabies, and then Argentina to get the wooden spoon. And I'm pretty sure most of us would have said that those are the first two, because obviously that was the Rugby World Cup finalists as well. And then Argentina and the Wallabies kind of battle it out to see who doesn't get the wooden spoon. But now we've got to the end of the Rugby Championship, and Argentina has the potential to pull over the double over South Africa, or they have the potential to go 1-1 with literally every single team. South Africa beats the All Blacks twice, right? But the All Blacks beat Argentina, and Argentina beats the All Blacks. The Wallabies beat Argentina, and Argentina beat the Wallabies, and the Wallabies pull it very, very close. Highly unexpected by probably most people, right? Like, I'm sure some people would have called it to be a tight game. I remember I called it to be kind of tight. I said like a 10-point game, but the Wallabies won't fool around. They'll actually come out to play. But it just shows you how tight this competition was. And I think there's kind of one of the best rugby championships that we've had in a long time. You know, there was so many nail-biters throughout this game. So many games where it was like, first half this, second half something totally different. You look at last weekend where it's like the first half, South Africa dominated for the first half of the first half, and then all of a sudden Argentina comes, and then it's just a battle of who's the best in the second half, and obviously Argentina just came out on top. You know, like in this video, please do remember, by the way, to like and subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate you guys. If you go up top, you'll see all my socials, especially the Twitter one. I said it yesterday in the URC preview, but I would appreciate it if you guys can go over to my Twitter, or X if you want to call it, and just go and follow me there. It's a new platform for me. Well, I've always kind of been on it, but I'm officially tweeting, you know. Feel cool now. Anyway, but I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for your love and support throughout this Rugby Championship, and I hope you guys stay here, because we'll be covering the Premiership, we'll be covering the URC, we'll be covering the Champions Cup. Anyway, but this is international season, still the final weekend. Little match preview. We'll run quickly through some of the matchups that we can see. As you know, I'm a guy that loves matchups on the field. We'll start off with the All Blacks versus the Wallabies. Obviously, I did a team lineup on South Africa, so I won't go into too much depth with that one. But obviously, these two teams came out this morning for me. And same as last week, that scrum battle will be absolutely insane. I think Angus Bell is unbelievable. I think Taniela Tupou is unbelievable. I think Ethan de Groot and Darryl Lomax are unbelievable. And that just sets up a beautiful scrum battle for us. We saw it last weekend. We saw how good they are off the ball as well. I just love that battle of the forwards. And I mean, yeah, okay, not much to talk about with the locks. I think the All Blacks kind of have the upper hand by quite a bit when it comes to the locks. But the Lucies, once again, sensational battle. You've got Wallace Atiti, who's been sensational since he's come in. Sam Cane, who'll be hungry in that 7 jersey. And then Ori Savea, who's the best player in the world. Right, going up against Rob Valentini, who's been a standout performer. Fraser McWright, who was absolutely sensational. I've been calling this guy's name for quite a while. You saw the damage that he just does at the Reds. He came back this weekend and just showed literally his first game back. First game after a long injury, comes back, plays a sensational game, scores the try that kind of tells the Wallabies, okay, we still got kind of a foot in this game. We've still got our toe in the door. We can still actually enter here and make it a tight game, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, the guy kicked like a 22-22. He's a Lucy. He's absolutely insane. And then obviously you have the captain at the back with Harry Wilson. I think that Lucy battle is sensational. Especially with the way that these two teams play, you know how crucial their Lucies are for them. Well, mostly in every single team, but especially in these two teams. They usually cause a lot of damage. They do a lot of the dirty work. They carry the bulk of the grunt, you know. So that is a sensational battle. Anyway, moving on to the All Blacks 9-10 combo. We've got 2 changes. I'm thinking they're kind of going the same as the Springboks do with combination work in terms of Ratama and Damian McKenzie plays together, and then TJ Perenara and Bowden Barrett plays together, the same as Hendricks and Marnie Lubbock plays together, and Kobus Reinach and Andre Pollard. So I don't have any issues with it. I'm kind of just so excited to finally, especially in the back line, see some changes from Scott Robertson. I've been calling for this for, I think, like 3 weekends, or the past 3 games, the past 3 rounds. Like, we've seen the same backline every single time, and I kind of feel like it's almost predictable, and that there's so much footage for a team like Australia to watch it, to study, to learn how to control them. I think kind of, you don't wish injuries on anyone, but I kind of think that Geordie Barrett, even though he's been sensational, is kind of a blessing in disguise where they're forced to see other combinations. So finally we see Bowden Barrett going into that 10 jersey. I don't think Damian McKenzie is a bad player. I do criticise him quite a bit. But it's like he's played 9 or 10 games in a row in that 10 jersey. You haven't tried anything else. I'm not saying Bowden Barrett's going to have a sensational game, but at least you get to see him at 10. He's come out and said he wants that 10 jersey. Now he gets that opportunity at 10. He's done damage against the Wallabies at 10. He can do it again, you know. So I'm very happy that he's getting the backing there. Anton Leonard-Brown gets his first start for the All Blacks since literally game week 1, where they played Argentina, who I thought he was literally the man of the match in a losing cause for the All Blacks. I thought he was absolutely sensational, albeit it was on outside centre. Rico Ioane still on outside centre. I just wish we could have seen him once on the wing, just to give Billy Proctor opportunity. I love Billy Proctor, but he hasn't even got a sniff after that Fiji game. So, I mean, it probably is what it is, right? And then to end off the first 15, you've got Will Jordan at fullback. For the Wallabies, no changes there except for Mariko Korobetti goes out. Dylan Petch comes in. I'm not even sure how old he is, but I think Mariko Korobetti just doesn't feel that quick anymore. Obviously, he's still a strong runner and stuff, but I think Dylan Petch, he feels like the future. He's been sensational for the Waratahs. I've been very impressed with him in the Wallabies jersey as well. And you know the rest of the boys. They are good. Hunter Paisami, Len Ikitau, Andrew Kellaway, and then obviously Tom Wright, who I thought had a sensational game last weekend. You can see the talent that there is still in the Wallabies team. And yeah, I'll break down what I think about the Wallabies in a second. Let's move on to the benches, right? Nothing really crazy to talk about when it comes to the All Blacks or really the Wallabies. Like, you've got your big names. You've still got the youngster Tamaiti Williams, Pasilo Tosi on the bench. Then Cortez Ratama, Damian McKenzie, those two fill out the bench spots with David Avili, who makes his return. Massive return for him. I'm surprised to see him rather than Billy Proctor, but I'm kind of thinking it's for the kicking, right? Like, Bowden Barrett has been dropped quite a while ago for the kicking. Yeah, it's kind of the same story as Marnie Lubbock, right? Yeah, it is what it is. I can't really judge Bowden Barrett on his kicks while I'm sitting with Marnie Lubbock at that 10 jersey. But anyway, I'm really excited to see this new look All Blacks team. I'm excited to see how this backline moves together. Couple of really, really strong carriers. Anyway, going on to the Wallabies, I mean, no real surprises. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen Tate McDermott get a start. I really wanted to see him get a start. He was brilliant when he came on from the bench last weekend. But yeah, obviously it's just a big name. Alan Alatua on the bench. No James Slipper this weekend. I'm not sure if he's injured or just rested or dropped or whatever, right? I haven't been keeping up to date with it that much. But anyway, what I was going to say is we're going to go into the prediction for this weekend. And I still predict the All Blacks to get it done. It's at Wellington, so you never know. Like, the record isn't too great there. I'm pretty sure the Wallabies will fancy their chances. They will try and keep this game tight. I do believe it's going to be a high-scoring game once again. But I still believe it's going to be tight within the 5 to 8 point range. Yeah, but the thing is, like, even if the Wallabies lose this game, I don't even care how far they lose. Just keep Joe Schmidt in the job. He's the man for the job. He's done it at Ireland. He's done it at New Zealand. And you know what I always talk about rugby heritage. And the one thing that stands out is the previous time that Australia had their biggest loss ever was like a year and a half, 2 years before they won the World Cup. You know, they've had the biggest defeat now. They've got a home World Cup in their own back garden in 2027. They've got a couple of youngsters there. They've got talent there. If they can keep them, the Wallabies could be back. And I know I might be sitting alone on this poll. I don't care. I like this Wallabies look. They still got to find their feet. I mean, they're coming off literally being rated as one of the worst teams ever. Right? To come back and actually perform against the likes of Argentina, put up a performance like that against the All Blacks who were just in the World Cup final. They should be proud, you know, they've made progress. You can clearly see the progress. Yeah, not necessarily always in the results, but, you know, it's exciting times. There's a rebuild is kind of exciting, you know, because you know where you came from, you know where you want to go, you see how close you can get to it. But anyway, I'm still backing the All Blacks to do it. I'm going with the All Blacks to win this game by 6 points. But yeah, high scoring, very tight game. But anyway, let's move on to the title decider. Am I a nervous South African as I sit here? I see a lot of other people being very, very nervous. I am not that nervous. Now, I'm not sitting here cocky like I was last weekend. But the reason that I feel more confident, right, is I kind of think last weekend was a wake-up call for our boys. The fact that we were 17 points in the lead and totally threw it away. We've got our big boys back now. We have taken the next step in terms of embracing the favourite squad. We were the favourites twice in a row against the All Blacks. We were the favourites against the Wallabies. We were the favourites against Ireland. Obviously, we lost the one game against Ireland, but we've gotten over the line every time that we were the favourites, which we never did in the past. We always liked this underdog story. And this weekend, we're still going to be the favourites. You know, we're playing at Mbomela Stadium, playing against Argentina. I think our boys will be coming out for revenge. We know if we want to talk about, because I know people have been talking about it, the greatest team to ever play this game, right? And I don't really put us in the same bracket as the All Blacks. We still got a lot to prove in terms of that 2011, 2015 All Blacks that we always talk about. We still got a lot to prove, you know. But the first step to get there is to obviously win the Rugby World Cups, which we've done now, and we have to push for 2027's one as well. But that phase in between, we have the Rugby Championships. We have to go and get some silverware, you know. We're so far behind even Australia, never mind New Zealand, in winning the Rugby Championship. I think we're like 2 or 3 on Australia. I might be talking off my arse. We might actually be second. But, you know, we've got so much still to accomplish. I want to get at least 2 to 3 Rugby Championships and really push for that 4th one. I want us to become a team of dominance that also has squad depth. We do have a bit of an aging team, so I kind of just want to get this Rugby Championship done and dusted and see some young boys coming through for the end of the year tour. But obviously, before the season started, I said I want to go and have an unbeaten year. We've lost 2 games now. We can't be losing a second one only to Argentina. Like, I'm not disrespecting Argentina. They've been looking like a good side, but they've still been this inconsistent side. This is still the Argentina team that lost with about 40 points against the All Blacks. We could have put about 50 on them if we didn't all of a sudden take our foot off the gas and just gas out. I know both teams playing 36 degrees, but it's time for us to really step up. You know, the big names are back. You've got Eben Etzebeth. It's a milestone for him. Most caps Springbok ever. I mean, imagine if we didn't have those COVID years where we missed about, 10 to 14 tests. This guy could be pushing for 140 caps by now. And then we would be talking about him being the most capped player ever. But anyway, even Etzebeth is back. Siya Kolisi, Captain Rugby, Captain South Africa is back. Pieter Steff to tackle is back. Massive Lucy battle. Obviously, they're without Marcus Kremer, but we'll go into the Argentina lineup in a bit. The big talking point, obviously, Mani Lubbock back into the team, starting the game at 10. And I know people have been in outrage. I'm not going to sit here and talk about that once again. But the more that I think about it, I think it was the pretty obvious move, you know. Yeah, he can't kick, but if he struggles in terms of his game, you can always just take him off, bring on Andre Pollard to kind of save the day if you need to. Or if Mani plays well for 40, 50, 60 minutes, then you kind of just bring on Andre Pollard to secure the victory. We still got the bomb squad there. Malcolm Marx, Gerard Steenekamp, Vincent Koch is there. They'll be hungry. Obviously, Elrich Lowe, Kwagga Smith. You know, the bench impact from those guys are absolutely insane. So yeah, I am happy with the team, and we should get over the line. If we don't get over the line, it's a disappointment. But I won't all of a sudden go and panic about literally every single game that we play. You know, we've worked hard to get into the position that we are. I don't think we've thrown anything away. We've definitely bottled the Rugby Championship if we lose this weekend. But I still believe in the boys. You know, if we want to talk about being the best in the world, you're going to lose sometimes. You know, I think that's why I'm saying last weekend had to be a wake-up call, not, okay, we're not the best in the world. Just a little bit of wake-up call that you're not slacking. This team still put literally 17 points on Argentina after 12 minutes by playing brilliant rugby. Let's play brilliant rugby for 80 minutes. You know, anyway, going on to the Argentinian team, a couple of changes, some big names, you know, Lavanini back in. Argentina has not considered a yellow card. They've not considered a yellow card in this rugby championship. Hopefully, Lavanini says, I'll have me one of those. Because, I mean, I can't believe it. We've had like six or seven, which is crazy. You know, but they've not had a single one. What's happening? Anyway, John Martin Gonzalez moves from the bench into the starting lineup. Obviously, that is to replace Marcus Cremor, who's got injured. I mean, that looked like a nasty injury. Just because he's a big guy, he's a heavy guy, and his full body just swinged, and his knee did an overlap around whoever's leg. Yeah. But then saying Marcus Cremor is out and John Martin Gonzalez comes back in, they put Pablo Matera on the bench. And the only reason that I can think that they do this, the same with Lucio Santi and John Cruz Malia, is kind of to just diffuse the bomb squad or to nullify the boys of South Africa coming off the bench. You know, you've got the experience on the bench now to battle experience, but obviously you've still got the big names like Chocobares there. You've still got Santi Carreras, who's playing at 15. RugbyNause has been sensational since he's come into this Argentinian team. And then obviously you've got a battle of Mateo Carreras versus Cheslin Kolbe, which is sensational. I spoke about it in the Wallabies build-up. This is a sensational battle. I mean, you got the upper hand of Kurtley Orange, who people have been talking about being one of the best in the world, including myself. At least I've also given Carreras his fair dues in saying he's also up there. But he got the upper hand of Kurtley Orange. And now it's like, okay, well, you beat Kurtley Orange, can you beat Cheslin Kolbe? And I mean, both sensational players, in my opinion. Cheslin Kolbe, either number 1 or number 2 in the world in terms of players. And now he's got a big job, you know. Mateo Carreras, dangerous player. You don't get much more dangerous than that. But yeah, anyway, when you look at how this game plays out, I think South Africa needs to realize that we blitzed them physically last weekend. We have to win the scrum battles. We have to be more tight at the breakdowns because they were a menace at the breakdown. Not in terms of just cleaning over us or anything, but just hands in the ruck, making it dirty, getting that ball back. And that's how Argentina obviously wants to play. They want to get that ball loose, get the defensive line disorganized, and just throw that ball out wide to have their boys attack the gain line. That's how Argentina play, and they do it so effectively. We saw it last weekend where they just ran us left to right to left to right to left to right, like it was absolutely ridiculous. South Africa, we've got to beat them physically. That's literally the first step. You know, when you play South Africa, you are going to be in for a physical battle, and we need to continue doing that. So obviously the boys up front going to have a massive role, and then please, just line outs. And I spoke about Mani didn't cost us the game because we had these many line-out opportunities. If we have this many line-out opportunities again, we cannot butcher it every single time. Obviously, Eben is there, Ruan Orki is there, Pieter Stef du Toit is there. All of them are pretty safe when it comes to the line-outs. So hopefully that works. Hopefully the maul works and we can get over the line. That's how we beat Argentina. You have to just score tries on tries. I don't want to see this thing where it's like, okay, we've scored a try and now we just kick the penalties. Obviously, if it's straight in front, take the penalty, you know. But don't try and ask Marnie to kick it from 45 meters from the sideline. Just go to touch, maul all day. We've got the physical upper hand. Use that physical upper hand. But I'm not writing off this Argentinian team. I think they're a very respectable team. I do think they're on the up. But I think this is still South Africa's tournament. This was a great one for Argentina, but I think, like, for instance, they'll take a lot of confidence from this one going into the next rugby championship. That's just my opinion. Obviously, the Argentinians will think that they can make history, you know. Like, who doesn't like a team making a bit of history? Well, I don't, because I support the opposite team. Anyway, please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm going with the Springboks to take this one by 10 points. But yeah, see you next time. Bye.